Alright, today I'm going to give you guys a detailed look at this Venom figure by SH Figuarts. This is Venom, Let There Be Carnage, based on the second movie of Venom. And this is by Bandai Tamashii Nation. And there's the box. And on the back, it shows a couple of pictures of Venom figure. So let's get into it. Alright, then here we have Venom outside of packaging. And before I go into the figure, let's take a look at the accessories first. Comes with a base. It's just a circular base with a peg, and then there's a rod with the peg on it. And then we have symbiotes. We have the head, and then we have some tentacles, and two extra heads, two open mouth heads. This is the extreme open mouth, and this is just the regular open mouth. And here's the closed mouth. And then 4 extra hands, pair of fists, pair of pointy fingers, and the one he has on right now are the 2 gesture hands. Alright, so let us take a closer look at Venom. Here's the generic head. It's a little small compared to the body. It looks a little, the head looks a little tiny for this body, but most likely people are not going to use this head. They're going to use the open mouth ones, and those are much better. And the veins, I think they popped out quite a bit, and the paint job on it is really white. I prefer they tone down the white a little bit, and then towards the end they should really fade out instead of just seeing the veins like popping out like all white. I mean, in the film they were kind of white, but I think it would look a lot better if they're a little toned down. So eventually I might just use nail polish remover and then just remove some of it, or lighten it a little bit, and then tone down the edges a little bit so it looks like it's fading into the body instead of right now where it's popping out everywhere. But body proportion, it's nice. Well, except for the head. The body, it's beefy, big, and that's how he should be when it comes to Venom. So there's the front, and here's the back side of Venom. And here's the open mouth head, the first stage, open the mouth head with the tongue sticking out. I do really like the eyes. They look way more menacing than what Hasbro made. I'll do a comparison towards the end of this video, and let's go over articulation. Wow, just look at that head movement. Quite a bit. It could look, Venom can look all the way up, straight up, pretty much. So that's good. So when you're doing these crouching poses, then you could definitely have his head looking straight at his prey than to have him kind of looking towards the ground. So let me zoom out a little bit and show you guys the rest of him. And then base at the neck, there's also another ball joint, so you get full range of motions. So he can look every which way, wherever you want. Then he has a butterfly joint, and looks to be held on with the ball joint. And then shoulders on ball hinge joint. It's right in there. It's like pretty well hidden. So as far as range is concerned, you can go up like that. Oh, even higher. So you could find, the arms can go way high actually. So of course full range of motion. And so if you're using the butterfly joint, I guess you could can you get them to cross arms? Let's see. So let me see. Not yet. Almost. Not yet. He could almost grip the bicep. This hand could almost grip the bicep, but not yet. Not to that point yet. And I don't think I could force it either. So that's that. And then as for the bicep rotation, elbows double jointed, so it gives you past 90 degrees. Not by a whole lot. There's a ball hinge joint right there for the wrist. And then as for the torso, good range for the chest on, and then the waist one, not so much. It's just limited movement. It's more of a not even sideways that much, but crunch, you could do about that much. Then arch back, you could do about that much. And then one thing they added here is a piece. They added here, but it's kind of hard to see. If you want to cover up this this section, you can. All you need to do is just grab something and then just pull this piece down. It's kind of like a covering, so it covered up this covered up this gap in between here. So that's neat. I like that. And then the legs are these newer SHF joints, kind of like T joints, but it has a covering over it, so it covers up any gap you'll see in between. So that's nice. I like that. So it could still swing out, and it could definitely give you dynamic poses. And then thigh, there is a swivel joint. Knees, double jointed, so it gives you really good range. And then there's a ball hinge ankle and toes articulation. So as far as range of motion, this guy can give you quite a bit actually. So let me pose him up for you right now, so you can have him crouching with no problems whatsoever. So here you get him to crouch down, getting ready to attack someone. So that's awesome. And let me show you guys the head once more. This one is really nice. I like this one quite a bit. And let me pop this one off and pop the third one on. This is the screaming one. It's just as impressive, and if you have him looking up, looking towards someone, you could, yeah, look at that. That's amazing. So let me give you a flying pose of Venom. Get ready to attack a Carnage, I guess. But Carnage is not out yet, so when Carnage comes out, it's gonna definitely be awesome to have both of them fighting each other. And with the articulation, you could definitely do a lot with this one and Carnage. I'm sure. So here you got Venom getting ready to attack someone, attacking someone midair, coming towards you. That's awesome. Look at that. So yeah, this is amazing. I like it. Good range of motion. Is it better than Hasbro? I'm not sure. I know there are portions, there are sections of this figure is way better. Like the head sculpt. Head sculpt is way better, and then the articulation for the head is way more than what Hasbro gave us. And then the butterfly joints are nice. I think the Hasbro one does not have a butterfly joint. The abdominal crunch, it might not be as good as Hasbro, but I'm okay with this one. So since I said so much about the Hasbro, let us do a comparison between the two. Okay, so I just realized something. This back of the head piece can actually come down, kind of like the back of the spine piece that they did. So it's well hidden. I mean, you can see it, but I didn't realize it could move actually. So here it is when it's down. So now it covers up the articulation point a little bit better, and gives the head a little more rounded look now from side view. Alright, and here's a side-by-side comparison between the SHF on the left and the Hasbro on the right. And you could kind of tell the color is actually different. The one with the SHF is more of a deep dark blue, but the Hasbro one is all black actually, and the veins are actually, yeah, they look more like frost than veins. Look at that, it looks like frost that's bleeding out, you can see. And this is more more identified, more solid looking. This is a little blur out towards the edges a little bit, but not in a good way, and they look a little sloppy and thick. These are much thinner, but they are way too pronounced. So if again, eventually I probably will tone them down with a nail polish remover. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it as is. But here's a good comparison between the two because it has the same looking head, pretty much, the tongue sticking out, and like I mentioned, the eyes. This is way more menacing, so it's much better looking than the Hasbro one. It looks a little silly-ish with those eyes. Yeah, it's more cartoony in a way. But body proportion-wise, I think the Hasbro is a little bit better. You can see the neck muscle, those I don't know what you call those traps. I'm not sure, but those you can see by the neck is much thicker and fuller, and looks like the neck is a little longer than the SHF one. This was lowered a little bit, and yeah, not as defined. And then bicep, they're pretty much the same. I think the arms and then the hands are pretty much the same as the torso. It's closer to human anatomy than this one. This one is it's a little top heavy and the waist a little skinny. So it's just a personal preference, I would imagine. But I don't mind the SHF, but I think the Hasbro does have a better body proportion. Alright, so as far as the lower the legs is concerned, let's see. The Hasbro one looks more like a bodybuilder than the SHF. The tone of the muscle is not as defined as the Hasbro one. This guy's been juicing quite a bit actually. Top half not so much though. Yeah, it feels like the legs are much more defined. Looks like he's been working out with the legs way more than the top body, because this guy looks like he works out more at the top than the bottom, but here this one looks more like he works out with the legs more. But overall they are very similar, but again, color difference, you could totally tell the color difference between the two right now. And yeah, but again, body proportion, I think the Hasbro one is better, but the head sculpt, the SHF is definitely better. So you guys saw the range of motion for the head with the SHF, and with the Hasbro, they didn't add that hinge joint to the neck. I don't know why they didn't do it on this one, but it definitely limits its range of motion quite a bit, so he cannot look up. So he has good abdominal section though. Look at the way he crunch. He could do quite a bit. Let me rotate those arms out of the way. So as far as the crunch, look at that. Great articulation there. No doubt about it. No, way more than SHF. But the fact that he could do this, but his head will not come up. So can't have him do those crouching poses where his leg is, where his head is looking up at his opponent. So yeah. So if you're gonna give him something like this, then his head's gonna be down, unless you pop the head off and then use a sticky tack and then just fudge it for the photo. But yeah, but as far as when you're messing with it, yeah, you're not gonna be able to get him to look up too much, but he can still do those coming at you pose. Not the same, but it's okay. As far as range, oh yeah, definitely better. The arms range is definitely better. Leg wise, it's almost identical to how much range this one has versus the SHF. But as far as crunch, yeah, you could do way more, so much better than the SHF. But in here you can see the SHF. I mean, he could do a crunch, could do ab crunch about that much. And I can lower that piece down. So yeah, I could do... Yeah, no, not as good as this one. Yeah, definitely not as good as the Hasbro. But legs wise, I think he could do a little bit more. And I love the fact that he could look up. That's a huge plus for me. Because for photos, I've been doing it the other way, where I was popping his head off of this one and then just using sticky tack and then just doing it that way. But this one, look at that. And so can he do a crunch? I mean, can he do a kneeling? A kneeling pose. He could do a kneeling pose, but again, not really looking up. And here's a side by side. You can see, yeah. Alright, and here's a back to back, and you can see they are exactly, well, almost same height. I think the SHF is just a tad bit taller than the, yeah, even the shoulders are a little higher than the Hasbro one. So he fits in with Legends quite well, and with SHF of course, and even with Mayfax I think he'll fit in quite nicely. So this one is good. I'm glad they didn't make this any smaller like some of their other characters from SHF. But Venom wise, he is perfect, as in the height and mobility. Alright, and as for the back, you need to pry up this panel. It's held on with two pegs right there. And then you could attach the tentacles, the symbiote tentacles, right there, just like that. Ball hinge joint right here, and then another ball hinge joint right there. So there are two joints for each tentacle here. So that's cool. A few more might have been nice. Two, it's okay. I'm okay with two. I mean, I don't remember how many were shown in the film. I'll need to rewatch it to find out, but two is cool there. So that's that. There, fits in nicely with the body itself because it blends in quite nicely. So they added some veins to it, so it blends in very well. And then as for this one does not go with Venom because his head is already there. You won't want another Venom head to be sticking out, so you just need to cover this back up if you're not doing that. And back to Venom. And then this one will go on to your regular humanoid body. There's a peg right there. There's a peg hole right there, right in there. And then you just need to find a peg, or you could set it, actually use the base probably. I'm not sure. No, actually you cannot. Yeah, it would not work for this guy. But yeah, if you find a body, you peg it onto the back of him, your favorite 112 character, and have him kind of talking to Venom. Alright, since I already compared it with Venom, the Hasbro Venom, here are a few more figures, a few Spider-Man to compare with. Here I have the Mayfax. No, this is not Mayfax. This is Mesco Spider-Man, and this is Mesco Tom Holland Spider-Man. And here's Mayfax Comic Spider-Man. So you can see height-wise, they are all shorter than him. So they'll all fit in. If you want to cross over between these guys. Alright, so at the end of the day, is this figure worth getting over the Hasbro one? A lot of people might not say so because this is quite an expensive figure. It's about $120, and your Hasbro Venom, it's gonna be about $30-$35, somewhere around there. So it's like 3 times as much to buy this guy versus the Hasbro. So is this figure worth getting for collectors? Depends. If you're a average collector, If you're not huge on Venom, but you do want a good Venom, probably get the Hasbro version, because this is a little too pricey for average collectors. But if you're a huge Venom fan and you enjoy the movies and you like SHF, then this might be a figure that, yeah, it might be a figure you want in your collection, because it's just so impressive, in my opinion. It's so impressive that this guy is gonna make my top 10 video. My top 10, yeah. So yeah, there you go. There's the SHF Venom from Bandai. And, thanks for watching.